cowboys and cowgirls. Welcome to the Daily O. I'm Mia Muhi.
And I'm Mally Jones. In local news, police investigated a case of counterfeit currency last week at Stillwater Walmart neighborhood market after an employee reported a customer trying to use a $100 bill from the same Walmart the day before. The customer had cashed a check for four $100 bills and some smaller bills and left without checking the money. An employee verified her story and said that the previous customer had paid with $100 bills that the clerk failed to check when he took them. A test with counterfeit pens verified the bill was fake, but the other three were real. Police arrested a man last week in connection with the burglary at a First Christian Church in Stillwater. Adam Raymond Mason, 28, was arrested in the early hours of the morning on February 1st. After officers responded to a report of a suspicious person knocking on the door of a house on West Connell Avenue. Mason was gone by the time the officer arrived, but another officer found him running between houses carrying an orange t-shirt. Mason ran a short distance, threw down a plastic tray labeled keys, and then stopped, according to the police report. When officers searched him, they found a folded paper containing marijuana, a digital camera in a case, and several keys they also found. They also found several other items, including a cross decal. One of the keys was labeled Life Center, which led SPD officers to the First Christian Church. An employee of the church verified all of the keys and several of the items belonged to the church, saying that the church leaves several of the doors unlocked for people to come in and out during operational hours. The church employee said the keys were for the Life Center and preschool area doors. Mason said during questioning he was never at the church because he is not allowed to be around children, according to the police report.
One of the world's most dangerous criminals is finally behind bars. Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo, was convicted on all 10 accounts of his indictment and faces life in prison in this sentencing hearing, which is scheduled for June 25th. Keeping El Chapo behind bars will tougher said than done. El Chapo has escaped prison twice already. The first escape came in 2001 when he was smuggled out of a top security Mexican prison in a laundry basket. His second escape came from 2015 when he broke out of maximum security in central Mexico by escaping through a hatch in the floor and riding a motorcycle to freedom.
Valentine's Day is supposed to be about love, but everybody has a horror story from February 14th. Kayla Dunn went out and found some of Stillwater's best Valentine's Day horror stories.
What is your worst dating story? A dating horror story.
What do you mean by horror stories?
So it's kind of my best and my worst because I'm marrying this guy now.
Okay.
So, anyway, a date has gone wrong.
Oh, a date?
Or an entire relationship if you want to get crazy.
You can obviously tell he's never had a girlfriend before in his life.
One time I had a boyfriend in 6th grade and I tried to kiss him and he broke up with me.
I decided to break up with him over text, but we still went to winter formal together, and then I hid from him in the bathroom during all the slow songs.
Perfect. Any dating horror stories, dates gone wrong, anything like that?
I don't believe so. Most of my dates typically go pretty well.
Not here. Oh my God, the wink! The wink! Not here to mess around. All right, Dalton, ladies and gentlemen.
He kind of looks at me and he leans up to kiss me and like completely eats my face in the worst possible sense of the word. And I'm like, no, I'm gone. I'm out. And I immediately leave.
In between the ticket booth and walking into the theater and handing them our tickets, he lost his.
You lost his ticket?
Yeah.
Did you still go to the movie?
Yeah, we found it later.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Did you fall in love?
Yeah, I dated him for 1.5 years after that.
Okay.
Is it a horror story to me or a horror story to the other person?
A horror story, it just took forever. I thought that he was going to ask me out, and he thought that wasn't a big deal. So there was a lot of drama for 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
So this one time I went on a date, right? And I said, I think I just need to pray about it. And he wouldn't leave me alone. And it's been 2 years.
We played like the colors game, you know?
Yeah.
Where you like dunk them until they get the color right. but then that game ended, but I still like kept holding the girl that I was like on a date with. Yeah. And we just sat and talked like that almost the entire time that we were there.
Were you just holding her?
I was just holding this girl in the pool like 4 hours.
Okay.
And her friend was there the whole time. And nobody said anything. Nobody said it was weird. Like, I know now that that was super weird and awkward. But like 4 hours, I was just holding this girl in the pool talking and got one of the worst sunburns of my life. I almost went to the hospital. It was that bad.
Okay, well, this is from my husband. One time he hopped on the Trump train like super hard, and like everyone hated him and me and my whole family, so that was really hard for me.
I like knew for a while. I was like, I gotta break up with this girl, and I was like, I was in like high school, so like I didn't know what to do. I never breaking up with a girl, and it's like first period. I come into the class and I just like look at her. I like don't say any words. I just like mumble. I go blah, 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 and she just knew. And then she just cried all day. And it was really bad.
He's like, if I don't try to kiss you ever again, like, can we just chill? Like, yeah, but don't ever in your life try to kiss me ever again. And then like a month later we were dating and now we're getting married, but it was disgusting. It was the worst experience of my life by far. So it could have been a lot worse, yeah.
But here's the ring.
Yeah,
Did it
yeah,
to you?
yeah. But it started out horribly, and it is a miracle from who knows where that we're getting married now, that he's marrying anybody. So
beautiful.
But now he's great.
And now?
And now we're married.
Now you're married. There's hope for
I
us
would say
all.
it worked out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel good about
Hang
it.
in there.
Valentine's Day advice. Hang in there.
I'm single now.
She's single, guys. Someone come get her.
Not all at once.
Thank you, Kayla. You know, Melly, I still remember the worst Valentine's date I ever went on. I was at a basketball game and I got hit in the face.
Oh, no.
Well, hopefully this Valentine's Day is better. We'll actually be back right after this.
In my mind, I was never going to walk right again. Before we were through, we had walked 23 steps. And that was my first steps of freedom. This patient is saying thank you.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems. We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories
of the past,
of the present,
and work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis. You can do anything.
with nearly 100 degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Welcome back. Relationships have their ups and downs, but your mental health is most important. I had the chance to get a better understanding of this. Check it out.
I was very insecure about myself and I didn't have a lot of self-confidence. I cut off a lot of my family members and a lot of my friends and lost all my relationships with them.
Sydney Long is a long jumper on the OSU track team who was in a toxic relationship 2 years ago that took a drastic toll on her mental health.
Now, after we broke up, I figured out, hey, like, this is what I deserve. I deserve way more than what I put up with.
Long is glad that she figured out how to put herself first rather than somebody else. Alexis Osmond is a psychology student with pre-med option. She suffered similar consequences from putting her all into a one-sided relationship.
I got 2 Fs, and actually my GPA was like a 2.0, and that's the worst it's ever been.
This year, Osmond made the decision to surround herself with positive friendships and tries to be more outgoing. Her GPA last semester was a 3.9. Students have a lot more to worry about than just their grades. That's why the OSU Counseling Center offers a variety of mental health services to help anyone meet their needs. The Counseling Center is working on a health series, and Meryl Ryder is a counseling intern that leads the Healthy Relationships group.
The hope of it is to get people in, reduce stigma, and see that they're not alone in their concerns, and that there are resources for them.
For the Daily O, I'm Mia Muhi. Mental health is so important, so don't take it lightly. Just go ahead and head on down to the counseling service and they can get you taken care of. When we come back, Cameron Blum is getting us all caught up in the world of sports.
Determining your future by selecting a major can be difficult.
It's okay to be undecided.
Connect with the College of Arts and Sciences, where your options are endless.
Where you can uncover your passions and achieve your goals.
Express your creativity by exploring a career in the visual and performing arts.
Investigate new discoveries to make the world a better place with a career in science.
Advance knowledge, communicate progress, and contribute to a healthier planet with a career rooted in the social sciences.
Discover your career by looking at the world from different perspectives through the humanities.
Realize a better tomorrow through problem solving and mining data that can change lives.
CAS prepares you to succeed through internships, study abroad, student-guided research projects, and service activities.
With 109 majors, 52 minors, and 24 departments, the only thing missing is you. College of Arts and Sciences.
Connect.
Achieve. Succeed.
When you have a team of physicians and nurses that really truly care about their patients, that translates into patient care.
It's a small practice, it's a small town. Everybody really takes that time to put the patient first.
Everybody cares what's happening to me and that I'm making progress and I'm gaining my freedom back and my mobility back. This patient is saying thank you.
This spring, I invite you to shop in downtown Stillwater. Downtown Stillwater is home to locally owned shops, boutiques, eateries, and dependable professionals that you can trust. Find the perfect gift for your graduate, have a delicious meal with mom, or just stop in to enjoy great spring savings. By creating a demand for local goods and services, you can ensure a place for the local businesses that help give our community character and keep it unique. On behalf of Downtown Stillwater, thank you for shopping local.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems. We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories
of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis.
You can do anything.
With nearly 100 degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Cameron Bloom, and it's time to talk all things sports. Our favorite Cowboys and Cowgirls have a jam-packed week ahead. Kicking it off tonight will be men's basketball as they host number 15 Texas Tech Red Raiders. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. in Gia. Cowgirls softball will be spending the rest of their week down in sunnier weather as they travel to Clearwater, Florida for the St. Petersburg Clearwater Elite Invitational. First up for the Cowgirls is the LSU Tigers tomorrow at 9 a.m. on ESPNU. Last night, Cowgirl basketball was back in Gallagher-Iba as they hosted the Texas Longhorns. Sapphire Cervantes was there and they got all the action. Check it out.
Last night, Cowgirl basketball was back in Gallagher-Iba as they hosted the number 15 Texas Longhorns. The Cowgirls were looking to bounce back from the road loss on Saturday to the Texas Tech Red Raiders. It was a slow start for both teams, but the Cowgirls had an 11-10 lead at the end of the first period. Braxton Miller got it going for the Cowgirls in the second period with 8 points, including draining back-to-back threes. However, it wasn't enough as the Longhorns took the lead 25-23 headed into halftime. The Cowgirls started to fall behind in the third. That was until Miller sunk a jumper in the last few seconds to pull OSU within 3 points of Texas. It was down to the wire in the final period, but critical free throws from Longhorns Jonah Holmes and Sug Sutton helped pull them away from the Cowgirls and sealing the win 61-55. Even though it wasn't the finish they were hoping for, 3 Cowgirls did end up in the double digits. Vivian Gray and Miller both ended the night with 14 points, and senior Latasha Jones wasn't far behind with 13. Head coach John Littell felt that his team played really well and competed hard.
In the second half where we tried to squeeze some passes at times, but for the most part I thought we played a lot better, ran better offense, had better shot selection, and the ball didn't go in.
Thank you, Sapphire. The Cowgirls will be back on the road as they travel to Ames, Iowa and face the Iowa State Cyclones. There was plenty of thrilling men's college basketball on last night. The number 2 Duke Blue Devils stunned the number 17 Louisville Cardinals. In the last 10 minutes of the game, the Blue Devils were able to overcome a 23-point deficit. But it was freshman forward Cam Reddish's tying three-pointer and go-ahead free throws with 14 seconds left to seal the win for the Blue Devils. Reddish ended the night with 22 points, 16 of which he got in the second half. Fellow freshman forward Zion Williamson did, well, Zion Williamson things. With 27 points, 12 rebounds, and was 8 for 9 at the line. Louisville senior guard Christian Cunningham tried to tie the game, but his jumper bounced off the rim and into Williamson's hands. The buzzer rang and the Blue Devils celebrated loudly after completing the second biggest second half comeback in program history. The Blue Devils are back home this Saturday hosting North Carolina. Just on the other side of Kentucky, the number 5 Kentucky Wildcats hosted the number 19 LSU Tigers and it was a close one. The Tigers were able to outscore the Wildcats 41-31 in the second half to overcome a 9-point deficit. Wildcats guard Keldon Johnson made 2 free throws with 6 seconds left in the half, and Tigers' Skylar Mays drove down the court and missed his shot. But fellow teammate forward Kaval Bigby Williams was able to tip the ball in right at the buzzer. Tigers win 73-71, snapping the Wildcats' 17-game home winning streak. Also, this was LSU's first win over Kentucky since 2009. The Tigers will be back on the road this Saturday as they travel to Athens to play the Georgia Bulldogs. Oh, by the way, there was some NBA on too. Here's some trending topics in sports right now. Even in the offseason, the NFL is making moves. Baltimore Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco is officially a Denver Bronco. The Ravens made this trade this morning, but it won't be officially processed until the new league year begins in mid-March. Yesterday, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown officially requested to be traded. Brown took to Twitter saying, "Thank you, Steelers Nation, for a big 9 years. Time to move on and forward. Peace. # new demands." The Steelers have yet to comment on the request. And the Browns also made a surprising splash in free agency as they signed running back Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt was signed and released by the Chiefs this past season on NFL NFL league violations regarding his domestic abuse case. Pitchers and catchers reported to spring training today. Baseball is back, everyone. 42 days till opening day. With wrestling winding down, co-host of One-on-One Logan Mosser sat down with wrestling beat writer Wade Hogan about the last duels of the season.
Chris's SD card. Thanks, guys. I'm here with O'Collie wrestling beat writer Wade Haugen. Wade, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining me. So, wrestling season is almost at an end, for the regular season anyway. Give us your thoughts on how the season's gone so far for the Cowboys.
It's been a really good season for them. You know, they've had some injuries they've dealt with. They actually had 4 returning All-Americans, and 3 of them have been out for most of the season. 2 of them returned last Friday. The third, Bulu Wallen, he's out for the year. So they're undefeated right now, and all things considered, I think that's pretty good considering they've dealt with some injuries.
Right, and I mean, you could just look across the board on this team, and they're loaded at just about every weight class. What would you say is Oklahoma State's best weight class?
Definitely the lower weights, 125, Nick Piccinini, he still is yet to be beat this year. 133 is Dayton Fix, he's only been beat once, and it was in a really tough match at Pittsburgh. 149, Caden Gfeller, he's been beat twice. Both of those losses were on the same weekend, and one of them was to Rutgers wrestler at 149, who actually is #1 in the nation right now. So really the lower weights is an advantage for Oklahoma State. That's where they've really thrived this year.
So kind of going on the opposite side of things, what would you say is our weakest weight class?
The higher weights, they're undefeated, so really they're not very weak anywhere, but that's where injuries have kind of hurt them the most and where they've had to shuffle the lineup. Chandler Rogers returned Friday at 165, and Preston Weigel also returned at 197, and those 2 weights have kind of been up in the air all year because they've had to shuffle people around because of injuries. So I think if you would say, you know, where maybe they're the weakest, it's at the higher weights, but I think with Weigel and Rogers returning and the lineup kind of becoming more set, I think the higher weights have a chance to really progress these last couple weeks.
Right, only 2 more duels in the regular season. Mizzou, and then #3 Iowa on February 24th. Can you kind of talk about some of the matchups that we're going to see in that Iowa duel that people should be watching out for?
Yeah, a few matchups. I know the biggest one is at 133, Dayton Fix. He's right now ranked #2 at that class, and #3 is Austin DeSanto. And DeSanto, he's kind of hard to explain, but he's a little pretty cocky, I guess you could say. He's outspoken, and Dayton's opposite of that. He just kind of goes and wrestles, doesn't say much. So that's going to be a really fun matchup to watch. That duel as a whole, #2 versus #3. Missouri this weekend, they go to Missouri, who's #5. So that's going to be tough too, but I'm really looking forward to February 24th when Iowa comes to town. That'll be a really fun duel.
Right, and another one in that Iowa duel, Nick Piccinini. I believe he's only faced 1 ranked opponent all year. He'll be facing another ranked opponent in that Iowa duel. Can you kind of explain what it's like having an easy regular season? Do you think that helps him going into the postseason, hurts him? What do you think?
I think he's wrestled really well this year. You got to wrestle who's across from you, so you can't really do anything about it. But Coach Smith has said it's kind of, Piccinini has people aren't really talking about him much just because his schedule hasn't been as tough as others, whereas like Dayton Fix, he's wrestled almost all the top 10 guys at his weight. So I think that'll be good to see Nick go against somebody in the top 10 just because he hasn't had those chances. He's wrestled great all year. I mean, he hasn't lost a single match, but finally getting kind of on that big stage, that could be big for him to maybe bolster his ranking a little bit as well.
Right, and I think it's 2 weeks after that Iowa duel, you turn around for the Big 12 tournament, and then you turn around for nationals. What are you expecting from the team and individuals going into Big 12 tournament and national play?
I think Big 12 tournament, they could have a really good tournament. I mean, they could compete at every weight at the Big 12s, and then come national tournament time, I think they have a few guys that have a chance to compete for national titles. The team title this year, I think it's going to be tough to beat Penn State, but I do think in the next couple years they could have a chance to win a team title. And maybe this year, you never know, if those higher weights do start succeeding more than maybe they have this year, then maybe you have a chance to steal a team national title. But I think they have a really good chance to compete, have a few guys, going for some individual national titles. And for sure, I think they'll have multiple All-Americans.
Who do you think has the best chance to win an individual title?
I'd say Dayton Fix. He's been good all year. He lost 1 match on the road at Pittsburgh to, at the time, the #4 ranked wrestler. So the Iowa duel is going to tell a lot about, whether Dayton really is, a contender at that weight. But I think if I had to put money on one, I would say at 133, Dayton Fix probably has the best chance.
Right, and like you said, next week they go to Missouri and duel number 5 Missouri, and then the next week, February 24th, they come back to Gallagher-Iba Arena for their season finale. So make sure you head out to Gallagher-Iba Arena on February 24th for the Daily O. I've been Logan Mosier.
That's all for sports today. We're going to take another commercial break, and when we come back, Mia and Mally are going to wrap up the Daily O.
What is arts and sciences?
We aren't all about the arts.
We like to think of ourselves as explorers.
From exploring the human mind
to discerning the building blocks of the universe.
We don't just read books.
We don't just sit in the classroom.
And we don't just solve problems. We seek to give everyone a voice.
In a variety of approaches.
We tackle the big issues.
By understanding complex social structures.
And even understand the small ones.
We take passions to new heights.
But stay grounded.
We tell stories
Of the past.
Of the present.
And work to predict the future.
We like to think with a little preparation. Some dirt under the fingernails.
And some self-analysis. You can do anything.
With nearly 100 degree plans to choose from.
Where will your arts and science degree take you?
Connect, achieve, succeed.
Before we end today's show, here's a quick look at the weather. Here's what you missed at the top of the show. Crime lord El Chapo was found guilty on all 10 counts on his indictment. His sentencing is June 25th. Men's basketball is back in Gallagher-Iba tonight at 8 p.m. as they host the number 15 Texas Tech Red Raiders. Be loud, be proud, and wear your orange. That's all we have today on the Daily O. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies. I'm Mally Jones. And I'm Mia Muhi. Have a great day, OSU.